Well, Hibo Wardere joins me now. It is so good to see you. It really is. This is a remarkable book, Hibo. It really is. It's quite difficult to read. Your story is hard,
Yes.
especially at the start. But I think everybody should be aware of this, which is why we wanted to talk to you. You were a child when this happened. What, 6 years old?
I was only 6 years old, and it actually happens even younger than that. You will be surprised to find out that in here, doctors found 4-month-old baby with type 1. So it is from zero. It is zero, and it is classed from 0 to 18 now here in the UK, which is a great thing to do. But in where I come from, it's mostly from when you're ages of 2 to going upwards. But for me, I was 6 years old.
What I can understand, and I think what a lot of people wouldn't understand, is how your mother, what mother could stand by and watch this brutality happening to their child.
You have to understand what they were doing. They thought they were doing something good for us, protection. They are, protecting your honor. It's all about honor-based practice, this one. So they didn't see anything wrong with it because they underwent with it. Their grandmothers did, their mothers did. So it's something that's been in the generation, and they didn't see anything wrong with it. What she thought was she was doing something good for me. She never thought.
It's child abuse.
It is absolutely child abuse, and not many women understand it as child abuse even now as we talk, and they don't see it as a child abuse, and that is where we need to make the connection for them. Is child abuse. You're suffering with it, and you know that, but you keep it silent, which is horrific way of...
Because you're told not to talk about it.
No, it's a muted subject, and you're not allowed to talk about it, and that's the thing that you grew up with. You never want to talk about it.
But for you as a child, do you remember much about what happened to you?
I remember every single detail as if it was yesterday. You never forget. That is the most traumatic thing that any child could experience, and however much you try to hide it and try to forget it and try to bury it deep, it's always there with you. You'll be sitting on your sitting room watching a program you like, and all of a sudden at the back of your eyes you see yourself, you smell your blood, you can't get away from it. It's there with you. It's there.
Because you're held down, and they do, I mean, with what happened to you, it was like a dirty blade. It was
razors, razors that didn't even look the normal razors that me and you know, razors with all kind of browns on them, and it was just, you're a young child, and things like that you never forget because your eyes are there. They're not shielding you from it. You're seeing everything that's happening to you.
Oh, it's hellish. It's hellish. Now, a lot of people here would say, well, you know what? That happens way over there. It's got nothing to do with us. It's a shame, but there you go. A lot of people would have that attitude. But it's happening here.
It is happening here. And one thing I say to those people is, children. These are children.
Absolutely.
If they don't have colour, race, religion, nothing. Children are universal. They belong to everybody in the world. And if this is a child abuse that's happening to a child, it is your business. It doesn't matter what you are. It is your business, and you should fight it.
No, I couldn't agree with you more. Why is it happening here, though?
Because people have moved, Lorraine. They moved to all kind of places in the world because of, refugee status and all that. But they haven't left their cultural beliefs and all this with them. They've taken it. But now we don't see that as a cultural belief anymore. It's a violence. It's a violence against women and girls. It's a gender-based violence. And it is happening here in our doorstep. And for me, this is where I am. This is where my home is. And I want to start that fight through my doorstep where it's here. I thought I ran away from that. I thought I left that behind, but I never did. It followed here, and it's still here.
And I think you're incredibly brave because the easy thing to be, no matter, I mean, obviously the trauma that you went through, and every child goes through that this happens to. But you're a fighter. What is it? Because you've got daughters? Is it because
I do have daughters? I have 3 beautiful daughters, 19 and 14 and 9. And for me to see them free of this, to see them not experiencing what I did when I was their age, how miserable I was, how I was fighting with myself and everything, to see them free. For me, my ultimate goal was my kids will never ever experience this all my life. My ultimate goal was I have kids in the future, they will never experience it. And thank God that was offered to me by UK. UK literally gave me back my freedom as a young woman to make decisions for myself for the first time. You cannot understand how big that is. That is a privilege for a woman to have. And I had that by the time I was 18, made that decisions and everything. And for me, looking at them, my world is much better.
Obviously, your book's going to really help.
Yes.
And it's out now. It's called Cut.
Yeah.
And it's one woman's fight against FGM in
Yes.
Britain today.
Yeah.
What can we do, Hibo, all of us, everybody
Yes.
watching, how can we help?
Everybody has a duty. Everybody has a duty to protect a child. It doesn't matter whether you have a child. It doesn't matter if that child is from your culture, your race, or your religion. For me, children have no boundaries, no borders, nothing. They are children. And this is happening to them. And it's been decision made for them by their parents. It's not their consent. They don't know nothing about it. Even the teenagers who are here, who are born or grew up here, have got no idea. When I go to the schools and I teach about this, they literally are shocked until they go back home and talk to their parents. And the parents actually confirm they've either undergone FGM or this does happen. And they are in shock and they want to do something about it. For me, it's education. Everybody needs to be educated. Do not say it's not happening to me, it's not our culture, it's none of my business. It is your business.
Exactly, and I think that's really, really important, because I think a lot of people sometimes say, "Oh well, I don't want to offend." You know, there's that terrible thing of pussyfooting around, and we get so silly about it, because at the end of the day, this is child abuse. That's what it is.
Absolutely child abuse. It's violence. It's the most horrific form of violence, of controlling women and girls' sexuality, and they do that from the young age. And for me, for somebody to say, "Oh, it's not my culture, I don't want to," I feel like I'm imposing. You're not. You're fighting for children's rights. You need to think about that. You need to put in your head, it is child abuse, nothing else. No religion, no color, no boundaries, just children. And you need to tackle it as a child abuse.
Oh, I wish there was more like you, Hibo. Thank you so much for coming in today. And the book is out now, and it's an astonishing read. Really, really powerful, really honest.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for having me.
Absolute honour to have you on the show. Thank you.